Who's looking for a new car? Who wants a deal? You might need some help on that. Let's get you some tips and guidance on finding that bargain. And with that is our favorite automotive journalist, Petrina Gentile. Hi, Petrina.
How are you?
I'm doing really well. Hey, Petrina, before we get to the car bargains, because you know me, I love my cars and I love my bargains, so I'm really interested. But I do want to just touch on this because you have an article out at the Globe and Mail website on International Women's Day. Of course, you're a woman in the car industry. You know, you're a woman car reviewer. I would imagine that it's a sort of male-dominated field. So what can you tell us about that and your latest in the Globe and Mail?
Yeah, it's actually a little bit sad, I have to say, because there was a new survey done by Deloitte and Automotive News, and they basically said that there's a lot more work that needs to be done when it comes to attracting and retaining women in the automotive industry. So, yeah, you'd think that there was a lot more improvement, but, you know, they said about 39% of women surveyed in 2020 felt that there was some positive change. But that number was 64% in 2015. And, you know, it's going down. And many women say that they would actually choose a different industry, almost half of them, because of a lack of work-life balance, because of a lack of promotional opportunities, and because of a lack of diversity and equity and inclusion in that male-dominated automotive space. So there's still a lot of work to be done.
From your perspective, Petrina, do you see it? Do you feel it? Like, do you still face these moments where you've got to deal with someone at a car company and you feel they don't take you as seriously because you're a woman? Does that still happen?
It still happens, not as much as when I first started in the industry like 17 years ago. That's for sure. It was really bad back then. But it still happens. There will be times I'll be in a press launch and you'll have, you know, the engineer coming up to the male automotive journalist next to me asking, you know, what do you think of the car? And just kind of even ignoring me, not even looking in my eyes and asking me my opinion of it. So it's still there, but it is definitely improving, like I say, compared to what it was when I initially started.
All right, Petrina, let's get to our main topic at hand, the tips on finding a bargain when you know, trying to drive home with a vehicle. Is it possible nowadays? I wonder, like, is it all now? You see sometimes car manufacturers say no haggle pricing and that's the price. But is that actually the case, or can you find a deal here?
You can still find a deal. You can still find a deal. You need to do your homework, though. You need to do your homework, and you need to find out which vehicle you want. So not only the make and model, you need to know what trim you want, the options you want on that, even the color you want. And then you actually have to go and either you call, email, or text, you know, different dealerships in your area to see what you could get for that exact same vehicle at different dealerships, because that's a good negotiating tactic. And then there are some really good websites online, you know, Kelly Black Book and Auto Trader, and even Globe Drive has like a build and price tool where you can compare, you know, dozens of vehicles at the same time. But the key is really finding out what the wholesale or the invoice price is on that vehicle. And that's the vehicle, the price that the dealer actually paid for the vehicle, including the price of the options and the packages. And you can find that out online in many places. And that's really... Sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish with that.
That's really where you want to start the negotiation price from, is either that wholesale price or the lowest quote that you get.
Okay, so the haggling still exists, regardless of what a car company may say. Oh, well, you know, that's the price. Haggling is still a thing.
Yes, it absolutely is. Unless you're going with Tesla or you're going with Genesis, where it is fixed pricing, you have room to bargain. And like I say, you want to bargain up from that lowest quote or the wholesale price. You don't want to bargain down from the manufacturer suggested retail price. And you don't want to fall into traps, because a lot of salespeople will say, oh, you know, what's your budget for monthly payments? Don't look at the budgets for your monthly payments, because that goes to the advantage of the salesperson. And when they do that, it's really difficult for you to keep track of the total price when it's broken down in monthly payments. So they can easily add extra fees and kind of boost their bottom lines without you even noticing it. So just focus on that price. And don't be afraid when you're haggling back and forth. Don't be afraid to say, here's the research I've done. Here's a competitor's quote. Can you beat that offer?
We're with Petrina Gentile, automotive journalist, talking about snagging a great deal on a new car. Petrina, I'm happy you brought that up about, having to deal with the actual, the total price of the car and not focusing on the payments, because I find it hilarious now. Now you see they'll even bring it down to the month level. Oh, it's $80 a month. And on the month level, everything can seem cheap, right? Or affordable.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially, and what they're also doing is extending it to 7-year and 8-year lease terms, which, again, that monthly payment seems really small, but keep in mind, that is a long time to have a vehicle. And you'll have that vehicle, after the warranty has expired. So you're going to have extra costs. Now you're going to have a vehicle that doesn't have, maybe the latest technology features or safety features in it. So keep that all in mind. While it seems like it's a good deal on the monthly basis, look at that price and don't get tempted by those longer payments.
Another thing, Petrina, and I think everyone who's car shopped has noticed this. You may see, oh, look, they've got a new car that's out, and the price looks amazing, and it's for the base model. And by the time you have added everything you actually want in the vehicle, oh my God, it's $20,000 more, right? So how do you guard against that?
You want to skip those expensive add-ons. I mean, it's easy for them. This is where the dealers make their big money. So they will push you on, the fabric protection, the rust proofing, tire and rim replacement plans, even extended warranties. And they're often overpriced and not necessarily essential. And besides, you can always find them from third-party companies for a lot less. So, avoid adding on those extras because they will definitely add up. What you do want to ask for are, and don't be afraid to ask for those free oil changes, free floor mats, even a free set of winter tires. I know a lot of people that have asked for that this winter and ended up with them. And they might refuse, but you know what? It never hurts until you ask.
And those winter tires, it's like $1,000, on a set of 4 winter tires or more, depending on the vehicle.
Yeah.
One other thing, let's talk about how the trade-in comes into this. Because obviously, if you're getting a new car, a lot of the time, you've got your old vehicle. You don't want to deal with a private sale. So you're like, hey, I'm just going to trade it into the dealer. When should that enter the conversation?
After you've agreed on a price. Never, ever, ever mention your trade-in at all. Once you've agreed on a price, then you can say, oh, you know what? I have a vehicle that I might want to, trade in. What can you give me for it? But you also want to make sure you know the value of it when you are, starting that negotiation process. And you can find that. On Kelly Blue Book, Canadian Black Book has that, even Canadian Red Book, because you want to know what that value is to make sure that they're kind of coming in close. Mm-hmm. Of course, you can go that private route, but you're going to face those challenges that you have to deal with potential buyers and test drives. You'll make more money definitely selling it privately, but it takes a lot more time. And even, if you have an older vehicle as well, you might want to even consider donating it to a charity. There are a lot of them. There's like homeless cars and cars for kids. And they're really designed to get those high-polluting cars off of roads. And they'll basically come to your house, they'll tow away your vehicle for free, and then they'll give you a charitable tax receipt in return. So that might be the way to go, too.
While I still have you on the line, Petrina, because I love talking about new cars and what's coming out and the latest with you. Let's get in one of those stories. Volvo, the latest car manufacturer to jump in on the EV bandwagon in a big way. What can you tell us?
Yeah, they say that their entire lineup will be fully electric by 2030. So not even a hybrid in that lineup. They're getting rid of the internal combustion engine altogether. So all electric. But what's really interesting, too, is they are selling all of those EVs online moving forward. And they're going to offer that fixed pricing. So no haggle pricing. So that it's going to be that full, the price you see is the price you pay, kind of like following in the footsteps of Tesla. And they say for now they're going to keep their, 2,400 dealerships that they have worldwide. But, that will probably change moving forward because you don't need those big brick and mortar dealership shops when you have Tesla that's using, those small boutique retail shops that are in busy, congested shopping malls and stuff. So that could easily work for them. And they are actually showing they just showed their second all-electric vehicle. It's the 2022 C40 Recharge, and it's a crossover SUV, has about 420 kilometers of range. We don't know the price of it yet, but that's going to go on sale early next year in Canada.
Petrina, it's always a pleasure talking cars with you, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right. Petrina Gentile, automotive journalist, and of course you can read much of her writing on the Globe and Mail website. And Petrina, she also has the most wonderful YouTube channel, Motoragazza. I think I said that correct.